I've been listening to music ever since I can remember. And then one day, I heard a song that hurt me back. So I turned myself into a tape, recording stories from people who made my life sound better. Because every song is a conversation. Waiting to begin. You know, I've always been fascinated by the Footloose, be it Alexander Supertramp or Che Guevara or Jack Kerouac. And in fact, I think if all of these guys were sort of to come together and draft what you'd call a universal declaration of independence, they'd all add a little something after right to life and liberty. Let's call it the pursuit of trippiness. Now, trippiness isn't about punk hairdos or altered states of consciousness. It's about a heightened state of self-awareness. It's about nostalgia for the unseen, for the unknown. Our guest here today observes in one of his trips, there are no secrets, only unpracticed truths. We have with us on Songversations the ex-frontman of the iconic Motherjane, the singing sensei, the TATTVA Tripper, SURAJ Mani. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nitin.
It's a pleasure. Now, you know, I've always been intrigued by the idea of tripping, which is why adventure films and adventure literature, it's always been close to my heart. So the moment I took to your album, it sort of seemed like sort of being dropped off at a nowhere land and you're sort of discovering spaces as you're discovering sounds. Can you tell us about the TATTVA Trip school of thought? How did that come to you?
Well, I've been always a guy who I write about life the way I see it and sometimes the way I'd like to see it. And whenever I have an issue, I was just telling some of these guys over here that whenever I have an issue in my own life, I tend to make sense of it and make a song out of it in the end. That's how I find peace with the whole thing. So over the years, I've realized that what I do is that if I see something that I find is beautiful, I will sing about it. And if I see something that is not so nice, I'll go around it and I look it from this way or I look it from this way. And I keep going around the entire thing until I find an angle where I said, now it's beautiful. And it's at that point that I will actually make a song out of it so that whenever I come to that thing, I already have a, So a lot of my songs are very, very personal experiences. And that's why I call this entire thing TATTVA tripping. Because Tattva means the principle, the essence of things, the philosophy of things, etc. So I find that you should take a philosophy and use it. And there are places when you need to trip with it. You can't just, hold on to one side of a coin. There are two sides of it. So when this side is not working, you flip the other side and then you've got something working there.
Which is interesting, because I think you've always maintained this about rock music as well.
Yes.
Because there's that sense of incompletion and, there's that relentless urge to improve.
Yes.
So the search for the ideal and so on and so forth, right?
Oh yes, yeah. I'm a big improvement freak.
Yeah.
In the sense that I once remember telling an aunt of mine very, very long back, I said, it doesn't matter where you are born, it's how far you go from there that matters.
Yeah.
You may have been born something and it's how far you travel from that point. It's how you play your hand with the cards that you get that actually matter. You do your best and you do your best with so much integrity that after that it doesn't matter what the results are. Yeah. Because at the end of that whole thing you'll say, you know what, I did my best. Now, I have no regrets that I didn't try. And I've always kind of liked that kind of
Yeah. Which again brings me to this underwriting theme in your album, which is very hopeful, right? So even when you're treading defects in this world, you're still carrying a lot of hope.
Yes.
Which is why there's a lot of exploration of karma and so on and so forth, especially with the song in the latest album,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you hum us a bit of
You're
that?
talking of the TATTVA trip?
Yes, yes,
Well, I think what you're referring to is that song called Whole.
yes.
The thing about Whole is it's a song that I wrote for a friend of mine, and you know, he would always, whenever he would get drunk, he would say, you know, I was thrown out of my house and this and that, and I always used to say you have to let go of it, because I could see that he was holding on to pain for much more than the required time, and so I kind of wrote this song for him, and I connected a house that he was remembering that he was thrown, and he lived in one little small hut, etc., etc. And I remembered that, okay, that is one bad situation. And I looked at the same situation and I said, you know, Jesus Christ was also thrown out of heaven, and he was born in a hut in Bethlehem. And I'm not being religious or anything like that. But for me, the importance of, Christ is that he broke the cycle of karma. See, what is karma? I sin, I pay the price. But what if I sin, or I actually upset you, and you forgive me? Then we break karma, right?
Yes.
And so what I realized is that people make mistakes because they do not know better. I hurt you, or you hurt me, or whatever, when we don't know any better.
Yeah.
That for me is what he said, forgive them for they do not know. And I look at that, and it helped me, and finally this song helped me a lot, because now when I look at somebody who hurts me, or when I hurt somebody, I just say I'm not aware enough. And the more I will grow, the better I will know how to express myself.
Yeah.
So anyway, I should probably...
Which sort of brings me to this piece of gem. This is something that comes along with the album. It's a collector's edition coffee table book. I gave it to my boss. I was a spot boy, and you can see where I am today. So that's a tip. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so this is the song called Whole, which is incidentally the first song that I picked up a guitar and made by myself. So. Tin roof, a thin room, a woman and a child I cried, because mercy found a place in your pride. A part of me still there, a father waited for you on a day long gone and moved on. I'm still true, and the family that I thought I left behind, again and again, I find inside a women buried tonight or embraced. This cross that I carry shows on the face, and whatever flows like a dark melody in me. With a song I let it go, it sets me free. I still have you always dead all along, and everyone needs someone believing they never went that wrong. And it goes on.
Oh, superb, yeah.